tucked away in a hole that feels more like a sauna. Steam rising in thick, warm plumes, heavy humidity pressing against every scale. With no exit as you crack open that eggshell. Its edges splinter like jagged glass, each crack echoing like distant thunder. You're probably wondering what your mom looks like, towering and leathery, head raised high like a living fortress. Except there's nothing here. The chamber is silent but for the echo of your own heartbeat, pulsing in your ears. No, you're on your own from the get-go. Your first gulp of hot, clammy air tastes of raw survival, each breath a battle won. And that's not even the worst part. You see, in the Komodo dragon world, even your siblings could be your worst enemies. Their claws scrape bare earth nearby. Unseen rival shadows twist and coil in the half-light. You might be lucky enough to be the first one to hatch, but before you even think about taking your first breath, you've got to get the heck out of there, fast. Every frantic movement is a gamble between life and becoming breakfast. Scramble up the nearest tree like your life depends on it, because it quite literally does. Bark rasps beneath your claws, your muscles tremble with each upward lunge, as though gravity itself conspires against you. You're not just avoiding your siblings. You're dodging hungry adults who wouldn't mind a bite-sized snack like you. Their massive silhouettes shift below, ripples of hunger glinting in their ancient eyes. To them, you're just a free McNugget, an irresistible morsel framed by predatory instinct, a tiny feast dangling just out of reach. So there you are, clinging to a tree branch, your claws dug in like shrieking talons, getting your first real look at the world. Twisted roots weave through emerald ferns, shafts of molten sunlight pierce the canopy in golden streaks, and distant roars rumble like drums at war. For now, just focus on surviving your first few days. Every dawn a new trial. Every heartbeat a ticking clock. Because the real adventure is just beginning. Your pulse still rings in your ears as you steel yourself for what comes next. For the next few months, you're on a strict no-ground diet. Each descent feels like stepping into a deadly maze, where every leaf quiver or snapping twig could herald doom. Because down there is a jungle in the most literal sense. Towering ferns weave a living labyrinth, vines hang like guillotines, and unseen beasts watch from every shadow, where every step could be your last. One wrong move, an unseen route, a misjudged leap, and gravity turns ally into executioner. Imagine living on the 50th floor of a skyscraper, steel windows sealed shut, height amplifying every creak, and no safety net below, because the streets are filled with zombies. Limp, pale shadows and tangled troops, mouths gaping, stumbling toward any sign of life. Yeah, it's kind of like that, only instead of zombies, it's your very own kin patrolling the ground. Massive scales blot out patches of sunlight as silent sentinels prowl, each breath a hiss of anticipation, all ready to take a bite out of anything that moves. Motion becomes a death sentence, stirring the predator's every impulse. You're not completely defenseless, though. Nature grants you gifts born of necessity. You've got instincts, deep-rooted impulses sharper than any blade, guided by ancient survival codes, quick reflexes, a lightning jab of tail, or sudden freeze at the slightest disturbance, honed in moments of life and death. And a strong survival instinct that kicks in from day one. An unyielding will threaded into every cell, fueling leaps from peril to refuge. Plus, you've inherited a handy little trick. The art of camouflage, your molted brown and green scales mosaic into leaf litter, a natural chameleon cloak. With your fresh molted brown and green scales, you blend right into the leaves and bark. Each ridge and crevice of your skin aligning perfectly with mossy bark textures and dappled sunlight patterns, making it that much harder for anything hungry to spot you. Predators pass mere inches from your motionless form, oblivious to the living sculpture before them. Think of it as your very own invisibility cloak, woven not by magic but by evolution's meticulous design. But instead of dodging wizards and Hogwarts, you're avoiding becoming someone's lunch. No spells protect you. Only perfect stillness and seamless mimicry stand between life and oblivion. At this stage, your life is all about survival. 101. Find food, stay hidden, and whatever you do, don't fall out of the tree. Gravity is a silent assassin. One slip transforms branch into executioner's platform. Your diet's about as varied as a college student during finals week. Instant noodles, energy bars, and whatever scraps you can scavenge. Here it's insects, eggshell fragments, and tiny lizards. Whatever you can scavenge or catch, from insects and small lizards to the occasional bird that's too slow for its own good. A fledgling's soft chirps betray its panic. With a single lunge, you snatch it before it even learns to truly fly. Every meal is a victory, and every day you avoid becoming a meal is an even bigger win. Bloodworm fills your belly as you digest triumph. Each sunset you greet is a medal in your silent war for existence. But don't get too comfortable in that tree. Roots above become roots below. Each vantage conceals lurking menace. Because soon you're going to have to face the real world down low. Earth trembles with the footsteps of giants as you prepare to trade arboreal safety for predator-strewn plains. And trust me, that's when things really start to get interesting. The real curriculum of survival begins. Territory, combat, is in the raw urgency of hunger and desire. You're no longer that helpless hatchling clinging to a branch for dear life. Your claws gouge deep grooves into weathered bark, each tremor of your limbs echoing a silent plea for safety. Now you're ready to start exploring the wild world of Komodo Island. A sprawling arena of fern-choked clearings, volcanic ridges, and sun-dappled creek beds unfolds before you. Your first few steps on solid ground are like a toddler taking their first wobbly steps. Legs quiver beneath your elongated body, every slight pivot a razor's edge between triumph and collapse. Except, in your case, the stakes are a bit higher. Each hesitant footfall could trigger a hidden snare of roots or summon the keen gaze of a stalking predator. Every rustle in the bushes could be a potential meal or a threat. The slightest whisper of grass seals your pulse in your throat, instinct screaming, freeze. And your senses are on high alert. Nostrils flare as your forked tongue samples the air, ears strain for distant cracks of twigs, eyes scour every shifting shadow. It's basically hardcore Minecraft. But in real life now, no respawn points, no cheat codes, just pure unfiltered survival challenges at every turn. In most animal worlds, this would be the part where Mom swoops in to show you the ropes. A guiding figure to mentor your clumsy forays through the undergrowth. But as we've established, Komodo moms aren't exactly the nurturing type. Their solitary nature leaves you to decipher the forest code through each stumble and close call. Instead, you're left to figure out things on your own. Trial and error stamped into every scratch on your scales, every near miss fueling sharper instincts. And that means a lot of trial and error. Each failed ambush and every close shave becomes an unwritten chapter in your evolving strategy. Your days are filled with many missions. Stalking unsuspecting critters, practicing your stealth moves, and trying not to end up on the menu of a bigger predator. The forest hums with hidden eyes and waiting maws, the ultimate stealth test of patience and cunning. It's all part of the learning curve, a steep slope carved by victories and scars, shaping you into a true island predator. And you're slowly but surely getting the hang of it. Confidence coalesces in your veins, each successful strike polishing the edge of your prowess. At first, your hunts are more hide-and-seek than stealthy predator. You freeze at every bird call, your scales blending into the leaf litter like living camouflage. You'll spend hours lying in wait, trying to blend in with the underbrush. Your body flattens against the earth, breath held as a beetle's legs click inches away. Your heart pounding like a drum as you watch potential meals scuttle by. Tiny lizards dart like sparks across the forest floor, oblivious to their peril, or get swept up by a much more experienced dragon show-off. A mature adult lunges with effortless grace, a brutal tutorial in raw power. But when you finally nail that first successful hunt, it's like winning the lottery at blizzards and rats. An electrifying surge of triumph pulses through you, a feast earned by ruthless precision. As you grow, so does your confidence. Each victory expands the map of your comfort zone, encouraging you to venture farther from that first refuge. You're exploring further from your original tree. Rocky outcrops, hidden coves, and fern-veiled valleys become new frontiers at your claws' reach. Pushing boundaries and generally acting like the reptilian version of a rebellious teenager. Tail flicked in defiance, you challenge conventions with every daring leap and bold patrol. Each day, you become a little more daring, a little more skilled. Your reflexes become preternatural, your senses honed to a razor's edge, and a lot less likely to end up as someone else's dinner. You graduate from prey to predator, your name whispered in fear by the creatures of the underbrush. But it's not all smooth sailing. A harsh reminder that paradise can swiftly turn to peril. Remember those siblings you escaped from at birth. They're still around, scaled phantoms moving like specters through the dark. Old rivalries rekindle in silent standoffs. And now it's time for some good old-fashioned sibling rivalry. Claws clash in dawn's pale light, a brutal dance to claim superiority. And the prize is, well, not dying. Victory means territory, resources, and a future unshadowed by threats from beneath. As you transition from Komodo teen to adulthood, you start to realize that the world is both bigger and smaller than you once thought. The island's vast labyrinth of terrain now feels intimately mapped, yet the presence of countless dragons shrinks your reign. The island is vast, but it's also crowded with other dragons. Each scale-marked rival stakes a claim to prime hunting grounds, making every inch precious. Each staking their claim to the best hunting grounds. Rival scents mark the air like territorial graffiti. It's time to find your own territory. The quest for a domain worthy of your might begins in earnest. Think of it like moving out of your parents' basement and into your first flat. Except your parents never had a basement, and your family's been trying to eat you this whole time. The metaphor rings darkly true as you seek a niche large enough to sustain you alone. Finding territory is like trying to score the last available seat at a sold-out concert. Crowds jostle, tensions flare, and only the boldest secure a spot. It takes luck, strategy, and probably a scuffle or two. Dawn duels settle dozens of razor-clawed disputes before the sun fully rises. You'll roam across Komodo Island, covering miles of rugged terrain, scanning for that perfect spot. Footprints fade behind you. Eyes scan every ridge until one clearing sings of solitude and prey. Once you find a potential territory, the real challenge begins. Making it yours. A fierce marking ritual unfolds. Scratching the earth, secreting scent, roaring your claim to the wind. Imagine walking for hours to find the perfect spot, only to discover that it's already been taken by a dragon twice your size. A colossal shape emerges from the brush. A silent overlord of the land you coveted. Now you've got a choice. Try to negotiate, which, let's be honest, is going to end in a fight. False truce gestures ignite invertebrate tension, broken by snapped tails and flaring jaws, or keep moving and hope for a less crowded patch of land. Another gauntlet begins, each potential clearing a gamble of resources versus rival risk. Now that you've got your territory, congrats by the way, it's time to settle into the daily routine of a full-fledged Komodo dragon. A disciplined schedule of dawn hunts, midday sun naps, and dust patrols unfolds. Your schedule is a mix of hunting, patrolling, and catching up on sleep. Lots and lots of sleep. Energy conserved in torpor until prey scent awakens your primeval hunger. You're not one to waste energy. So when you hunt, you go big. One large meal a week is your style. A single deer, wild boar, or water buffalo becomes a multi-day banquet under your powerful jaws. Something that'll keep you satisfied for days, bloated and lethargic. You rest in a food-induced haze that sees seasons shift above you. You're aiming for deer, wild boar, or even the occasional water buffalo. Their massive forms toppled by your explosive ambush, a testament to perfect timing and brute force. Your hunting style is all about patience and precision. You lie in wait, blending into the landscape until the perfect moment to strike. Every muscle coiled, every breath shallow until you explode forth like a piston of primal violence. It's a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek, where the prize is dinner and the cost of losing is another day of hunger. Failure etches emptiness deeper than any claw scar. But when you do succeed, it's worth the wait. You feast like a king, blood and sinew melting on your tongue. You'll feast like a king and then slip into a food coma that'll make a Thanksgiving nap look like a quick power snooze. You dissolve into dreamless slumber on sun-warmed stones, every heartbeat a lullaby. As you reach full maturity at around 7 to 10 years, you start taking extra notice of other female Komodo dragons roaming around. That's your urge to mate kicking in. pheromones swirl like a secret wind, tugging at your instincts. Mating season is like the ultimate dating game. You're sizing up potential partners with a mix of curiosity and caution. Each potential mate, a blend of vulnerability and power, her scales shimmering under moonlight, for male dragons. The competition's fierce. You've got to prove your worth to the ladies, and that means showing off your strength, size, and survival skills. Displays of chests inflated, tails twined, and roaring challenges echo through moonlit clearings. If a female finds you impressive, she might just let you get close enough to mate. A silent nod of acceptance, a ritual intertwining beneath starlit canopies. Just don't screw up your chance. Because the competition's tough, and your brother might just be waiting in line. One misstep, one falter in your display, and you're ousted by a younger, hungrier rival. Once you've successfully made it, your job isn't quite done. If you're a female, you lay your eggs in a carefully selected spot, burying them deep to protect them from predators, a sacred chamber carved in volcanic sand, each egg nestled like a precious gem. After that, it's back to a solitary life, leaving the next generation to defend themselves just like you did. No lullabies or guiding claws, only the echo of survival lessons etched into their DNA. You've somehow made it past 10 years and all the way to 15. Congratulations. In the wild world of Komodo dragons, that's like reaching your 90s with all your teeth intact, a monumental feat of resilience, each gray scale a badge of countless battles. But here's the thing. You're not as quick as you used to be, and those once impressive muscles aren't quite as strong. Age settles into every joint, reflexes dull like a blade left unused. You've earned every scar, every notch on your scales. But now survival requires a different kind of strength. One that comes from experience and wisdom rather than brute force. Strategic retreats, inconspicuous ambushes, and knowing which battles to skip become your new arsenal. But with age comes new challenges. And you knew this day would come. Another younger dragon wants your territory, and this battle might be your last. A bright-eyed challenger emerges at dawn, claws raking the soil like a gauntlet thrown. The young dragon's eager, strong, and even reminds you of yourself when you first went out to get your own territory. A poignant reflection that makes your chest tighten with memory. Hey, it might even be your own son. Who knows? Komodo dragons aren't exactly great parents. The bitter irony settling in your gut as ancestral cycles repeat. This fight is different from the others you've had. Although you're older and wiser, you're also more vulnerable. Each blow lands a little heavier, each dodge a bit slower. Your opponent's fast, relentless, and every blow feels a little harder than the last. The clash of claws rings louder, each impact reverberating in your bones. But you're not about to go down without a fight. Resolve steals your spine, memories of every past triumph fueling one last stand. You dig deep, drawing on every ounce of strength and every trick you've learned over the years. Feints honed by decades of skirmishes, each tail whip a calculated gambit. In the end, it's a close call. Maybe you win, driving the challenger away one last time. Or maybe you lose, forced to retreat to the fringes of your territory, battered but not broken. Every ragged breath a testament to your unbowed spirit. Either way, this fight marks the beginning of the end. The balance of power shifts as new generations rise. You've held your ground for years, but now it's clear that the jungle is a harsh place, and even the strongest can't rule forever after years of ruling your territory. You give one last growl, a low, resonant bellow that trembles through trunk and stone. And now, as you feel the weight of time pressing down, you know that the jungle will continue with or without you. As the end approaches, you find a quiet spot to rest, somewhere safe from the constant struggle for survival. A secluded hollow beneath ancient roots, kissed by dappling sunlight and cooled by gentle breezes. You lie down, feeling the warmth of the sun on your scales, its gentle rays stitching comfort into each tired fiber. and close your eyes, the world keeps turning. The cycle continues. And somewhere out there, a new dragon is hatching, ready to begin the journey you've just completed. A poignant reminder that life's relentless march transcends any single existence.